Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including Tesla manufacturing breakthroughs, the disappearing Model Y, new retrofits, and more, so let's get into it. And a special thanks to Henson Shaving for sponsoring a portion of this video. First up today, Tesla has introduced a new retrofit for older Model 3s. One of the best things Tesla added to the Model 3 in the 2021 refresh was a powered liftgate. This is a feature many cars in the Model 3's price range have, so it made sense for them to add it, especially after the Model Y got one. As often happens with Tesla though, Tesla updates software throughout ownership, and then they will offer certain hardware retrofits to get the latest physical features. There are many third-party liftgate options out there, but they require your own install, so Tesla's new option has popped up for $800 in their shop. They say, quote, open and close the rear liftgate of your Model 3 with the touch of a button. Retrofit your vehicle with electronic components that allow you to control your liftgate from the Tesla app, your vehicle's touchscreen, or with a button on the liftgate itself. The great thing is that their price includes a shipment to and installation at a service center. For those with older Model 3s, it definitely could be a worthwhile upgrade. On the software side of things, Tesla has released 2023.26, and it brings a number of good things, some of which are hidden. This update brought a Spotify refresh, Bluetooth controller support on the Model Y and 3, and the Charge on Solar feature. It also brought multicam view in the app and other things, and most people have this update by now. However, there are some undocumented features, including improved phone calls, where the fan speed lowers to reduce cabin noise when on a call, service mode enhancements, and supercharger details. For supercharger details, quote, your Tesla will now display the price per kilowatt hour you're being charged, as well as the total energy charged. Previously, it would only show you the cost details. For automatic navigation, this has been improved so that Tesla clearly shows you the calendar event it's pulling from, and that it will route you there automatically. Drive to begin. When apps get new features, they will now have a blue dot under them to indicate that. There are a few other updates, but those are the main ones. Per usual, it's exciting to see these cars improving in small ways all the time. They add up to a lot. On the charging front this week, Tesla officially opened their 50,000th supercharger stall. To celebrate this, they installed a special red-on-red stall to indicate this milestone. Tesla simply said somewhere in the world, but people located it very quickly, and it's located in Roseville, California. That's an incredible milestone for Tesla and for EV charging as a whole, and it's a pretty cool and special way to indicate that. Now I'm excited to see what the 100,000th stall will look like in a few years. Next up today, some very big news for the Model Y. This is Tesla's most popular car, and in markets outside of the US, Tesla sells a standard range rear-wheel drive version of it. In the US, however, that version has never come to be. Instead, Tesla ended up introducing an all-wheel drive standard range version of the Model Y with their own 4680 battery cells. This version was introduced with a 279-mile range and comes exclusively out of Giga, Texas. It uses their own 4680 battery cells and really is the first beta of their new technology there. Not only does it use their cells, but it uses a structural battery pack for the first time in a Tesla. At Giga, Texas, they've been ramping up 4680 production and making both 2170 Model Ys and those with this updated battery pack. However, the product that's a bit more reliant on Tesla's new battery cells is the Cybertruck. From the beginning, the plan has been for this truck to utilize Tesla's own 4680 cells, and that has likely led to some of the Cybertruck's delays. According to Drew Blaglino in July, quote, here in Texas, we're preparing to launch our Cybertruck cell, which has 10% higher energy density than current production. So they've improved on the Model Y 4680 cells for the Cybertruck. Now, as we're approaching the Cybertruck's release, it seems Tesla is shifting their focus at Giga Texas to that truck. They have entirely removed the Giga Texas exclusive standard range all-wheel drive Model Y from their online configurator. Now, the base Model Y is the long-range version, which they currently make for the US market in Texas and Fremont. It gets a 330-mile EPA range and starts at $50,490. This means that no Model Y you can order uses 4680 battery cells. Worth noting real quick that if you wanted to buy this car, there are a decent amount of them available to buy in inventory. Not only that, but they're over $3,000 off the original price, and you can get an extra $500 off with a referral code, all prior to incentives. Seemingly, Tesla may run out soon though, as Giga Texas Model Y production, at least for this car, appears to have halted for the time being. This is a bit disappointing to see, regardless of the reasons, because the base price of the Model Y has now increased for everyone since the cheaper option is gone. That's never that exciting for as many customers getting these cars as possible. Nobody quite knows why Tesla removed this, per usual. It could simply be that they have halted production to do production upgrades they already spoke about, and as such they can't take orders for that trim only made at Giga Texas. However, they likely won't be down for that long due simply to upgrades, so most suspect this is a sign of a focus on Cybertruck production. The Model Y is ramped at Fremont with battery cells they've been using for years now. The Cybertruck, on the other hand, is only being made in Texas and will use exclusively 4680 battery cells. It seems Tesla is likely shifting their focus there for these new battery cells, and that's a very big sign of impending production. We've seen Cybertrucks coming out of Giga Texas in reasonable numbers and shipping around the country for testing in various ways, but a true production ramp is going to be coming soon. For right now, it seems that means the Model Y 2.0, as Elon called it, is being put on the back burner. For a while, this was supposed to be an exciting breakthrough for this car, but now it seems that breakthrough may come with the Cybertruck instead. The Model Y in its current form is ramped and scaling well. Hopefully this is only a temporary measure because this was a great option for many customers. In any case, Tesla is always making a lot of moves with batteries, and this is just the latest. They currently ship their cars in the US with batteries made in Nevada, along with their own 4680 lines in Fremont and Texas. They also ship the Model 3 standard range with an LFP chemistry battery from CATL in China. As always, they're looking into the future, and battery supply is vital for growth. No batteries means no electric cars. So we regularly see Tesla growing their suppliers, expanding their current suppliers, scaling their own battery manufacturing, and working on their own vertically integrated lithium factory. In an ideal business world, they would use batteries from wherever makes the most sense, but as part of the US federal EV tax credit, there are strict battery sourcing requirements. These are meant to spur US manufacturing in the new push for electrification. If automakers don't make these moves, their cars won't qualify for a tax credit, and people will buy from a company that qualifies. Right now, the Model 3 and Y fully qualify, and the Model X long range actually qualifies as well. However, for multiple Tesla vehicles, they warn that there will be reductions come 2024. For the Model 3, they say reductions to tax credits likely after December 31st. For the Model Y, they do not have such a warning. This is likely referring to the battery requirement and the fact that the standard range Model 3 uses a battery pack by CATL in China. It currently qualifies, but these battery requirements get stricter each year. This is leading to some speculation as to what Tesla may be planning here. Ultimately, it's a top priority for them to pivot as best they can to make as many cars as possible to qualify for this credit. Come early 2024, though, they should be introducing the newly refreshed Model 3 in the US. This is already coming out of their Chinese factory, and we'll see deliveries soon there and in Europe. But US manufacturing from Tesla's Fremont factory is behind. Before we go any further, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Henson Shaving. Henson Shaving is an aerospace machine shop with a mission to make the world's best safety razor. There's no question that safety razors come with a myriad of benefits over cartridge razors, saving plastic waste as well as money, but many shavers are still hesitant to make the switch. That's why Henson Shaving created the AL13, an easy-to-use razor that's held to extremely tight production standards and will last you a literal lifetime. With most disposable razors, the blades actually aren't supported enough, which is a leading cause of cuts and irritation. The AL13 solves that issue by only exposing the blade by less than the width of a human hair, so it's actually much safer than a plastic disposable razor. This razor gives me a perfect shave with no irritation or ingrown hairs, and I can't recommend it enough. In fact, I regularly use this razor to shave my head. It's extremely simple to use, doesn't clog, and replacement blades only cost about 10 cents each. To try out the Henson Shaving Razor for yourself, click the link in the description below and use my code to get 100 free blades with the purchase of a razor. That's about 3 to 5 years worth of shaving. It's truly an incredible product that's better for the environment, your skin, and your wallet, so check it out. There have been rumors that Tesla would introduce a new CATL battery along with this refresh, but one angle many aren't considering is Tesla shifting their standard range Model 3 to the same battery pack they were using on the standard range Model Y in the US, 4680 cells. Could this also be a factor with the standard range Model Y disappearing? Maybe the cheapest Model 3 is much more important than the cheapest Model Y being available. Tesla has been scaling their 4680 battery production, and right now these are entirely made within the United States. A vehicle with this battery pack will continue to qualify next year. So what if Giga Texas begins making packs for a US-made 4680 Model 3 standard range? This could be a contributor to the delays of the refreshed Model 3. Introducing the 4680 Model Y was a big delay for Giga Texas and came after Tesla shifted to make 2170 cells there first. Maybe they are looking to do the same and shift the cheapest Model 3 over to these cells like the Model Y was. Given the Cybertruck, this does seem pretty unlikely at this point, and the fact that the Model 3 would likely need to move to a structural battery pack, but we've seen Tesla do some pretty crazy things over the years, and they will make sure their cars qualify for the tax credit as much as they can. Next up today, some very big news for Tesla in manufacturing. At the end of the day, the thing that will set Tesla apart going forward is manufacturing. Battery packs are expensive, and while those costs will come down over time, we're clearly seeing that the biggest ways for automakers to cut costs on EVs involves manufacturing and vertical integration. Rivian has started moving this direction, and the results are already very impressive. Tesla has been working on larger and larger casting machines for the underbodies of their cars, and the Cybertruck is using the biggest one ever, weighing 9,000 tons. Ultimately, Elon Musk would love if the entire underside of the car can be stamped in one press, like a Hot Wheels car, and Tesla this week is reportedly one step closer to that. Reuters this week said that, quote, Tesla has combined a series of innovations to make a technological breakthrough that could transform the way it makes electric vehicles and help Elon Musk achieve his aim of halving production costs, 5 people familiar with the move said. As Tesla has begun introducing these 6,000 and 9,000 ton gigapresses, other companies are starting to catch on to their importance. As we see often with Tesla though, just as other companies are realizing the need, Tesla is already working hard on the future version. Quote, Tesla is closing in on an innovation that would allow it to die-cast nearly all the complex underbody of an EV in one piece, rather than about 400 parts in a conventional car. This will be a huge piece of making their affordable EVs in massive numbers. On top of this, it means that Tesla can develop a car from the ground up in a very short amount of time. Quote, the company could develop a car from the ground up in 18 to 24 months, while most rivals can currently take anywhere from 3 to 4 years. These presses are extremely complex, but when they crack the problem, it has cost, time, and speed advantages. Tesla reportedly aims to have one single large frame, combining the front, rear, and middle underbody on their $25,000 EV by the middle of this decade. One of the main reasons why Tesla is so far ahead here is because this process comes with extreme cost and risk. Quote, once a large metal test mold has been made, machining tweaks during the design process could cost $100,000 a go, or redoing the mold altogether might come to $1.5 million, according to one casting specialist. Another said the whole design process for a large metal mold would typically cost about $4 million. For most automakers, that means it's something to avoid, but this process has been Elon Musk's vision from the start. They've been working with specialists in Britain, Japan, Germany, and the US to get this done, and the main breakthrough involves industrial sand. For iterations, of which there are often dozens to get noise, vibration, fit, finish, ergonomics, and crashworthiness right, they can now use industrial sand with 3D printers. Quote, using a digital design file, printers known as binder jets deposit a liquid binding agent onto a thin layer of sand and gradually build a mold, layer by layer, that can die-cast molten alloys. This new process is about 3% of the cost of doing the same with a metal prototype. Tesla can iterate as much as necessary, and reprinting can occur within hours. This whole validation process with sand casting also only takes about 2 to 3 months, as opposed to 6 to 12 months with metal. Ultimately, the last piece of the puzzle, according to this report, was a special alloy that works just as well with these types of molds, and then Tesla is still deciding how they will apply this to production-ready casting machines. They reportedly will need to be even larger, up to 16 tons, unless Tesla changes other aspects of the process. This report is pretty fascinating, and ultimately it will lead to an entirely new way of manufacturing cars. With the Cybertruck entering production with its 9,000-ton press, I think it's safe to assume that Tesla's affordable EV will come with this new innovation. It seems Tesla is getting close, and they could soon have a breakthrough that no other company is close to. It very well may lead to some more delays, but once that car is released, they'll be doing it right, able to scale it profitably, and make millions of them in a short amount of time. Next up today, we're seeing more features in action with new Cybertruck sightings. This video was posted of the Cybertruck's accent lights inside. It looks like it wraps all the way around the interior of the vehicle, making a solid line around the car. This definitely fits the aesthetic of this truck, adding a cool cyberpunk touch. This looks like the same light bar that's shipping on the new Model 3 refresh as well, but instead of extending closer to the windshield, it makes a straight line across the dash right in front of the driver and passenger. Then we saw another demonstration of this truck's incredible ground clearance. We've seen the suspension raised on this truck most recently when it was hauling onto a truck. The Cybertruck in front here is visibly taller than the one behind it. Now we're seeing it in action. Muddy Ruts spotted a couple of prototypes at Hollister Hills State Vehicle Recreation Area in California, which is a popular off-roading spot, not a Tesla-owned test track by any means. It's a great place to test your vehicle's off-roading capabilities, with about 6,800 acres of trails varying in difficulty. These prototypes are marked with the same RC logo we've seen before that we definitely think means release candidate. Here's one of them entering the track with its air suspension raised seemingly all the way up. They didn't include footage of the Cybertruck testing on any of these more difficult sections, but we can assume they continued on the rougher patches. Muddy Ruts also got a good close-up of these trucks along with another Tesla loaded with equipment. Presumably, they'll be collecting data from this testing session and sending it back to Tesla for analysis. This user posted another video around the same time, catching the prototype on the side of the road. It also has the release candidate stamp, and they got a good close-up of the raised suspension before it drove away. This could be one of the prototypes we saw at Hollister Hills. Right here, it appears to be lowering its suspension as it prepares to drive, and here's a clip of what that sounds like. There's also been a lot of talk of Tesla adding a new option for Cybertruck buyers, a coating that's scratch-proof to everything but diamonds. If you're worried that this truck's nearly impenetrable exoskeleton made of ultra-hard 300 series cold-rolled stainless steel might not be scratch-proof, then Elon appears to have the answer. When one Cybertruck fan made a comment about Tesla haters ruining their keys on the vehicle, Elon responded, "We might be able to offer an optional tungsten carbide coating, which is basically scratch-proof to everything below diamond hardness." I do somewhat doubt that they'll offer this and that they'll do so at a reasonable price. Tungsten carbide is a very expensive material, and this is a very large truck. The best option will likely be Sentry Mode, which will definitely be in the Cybertruck. Next up today, a new review from Morgan Stanley of Tesla's Dojo computer has seemed to increase their stock significantly. Dojo is Tesla's in-house supercomputer platform that's built from the ground up for AI machine learning, using video data that they collect from all of their vehicles. It's what they think is the key to achieving self-driving, which has so far been limited by computing capacity. Tesla already uses NVIDIA GPU-based supercomputer clusters that are among the most powerful in the world, but Dojo, designed entirely by Tesla, is made specifically for training their AI. In July, Tesla started to implement Dojo, and they shared plans to make it one of the most powerful supercomputers in the world by early 2024, exceeding 100 exaflops of computing power. Now, Morgan Stanley has released a new note to their clients after analyzing the new technology. The analyst said, quote, "The autonomous car has been described as the mother of all AI projects. In its quest to solve for autonomy, Tesla has developed an advanced supercomputing architecture that pushes new boundaries in custom silicon and may put Tesla at an asymmetrical advantage in a $10 trillion total addressable market." By asymmetrical advantage, he means that no other company has gotten this close to truly making autonomous passenger vehicles available for purchase. They estimate the addition of Dojo could add about $500 billion in value to Tesla. They also mentioned Dojo could become a direct revenue generator for Tesla. Before Dojo, training their AI was a cost associated with developing the technology, but now that they have this computer, it can be used in other industries. As a result of their findings, they've raised their price target on Tesla's stock price from $250 to $400, which seemed to lead to Tesla's stock increasing by as much as 6% in pre-market trading initially. Of course, there are other aspects that could be causing their stock to increase, but this analysis is exciting news nonetheless. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see the latest Model 3 price drops of up to $4,000 direct from Tesla, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.